Hello and welcome to the Strategy in 10. My name is Taryn Landberg and I am your host. And I created the Strategy in 10 because I wanted to collaborate with coaches and experts all over the world where they can talk about 1 to 2 different strategies that you can use in your business and your life right away and get a tangible result. And today I'm so excited because I have a very special guest and good friend. Her name is Alexandra Cavucci, and she's an international coach for high achieving women in their industry. And she's going to share something really special for you. So, Alexandra?
Well, hello, everyone. Taryn, so glad to be here. Thank you for having me. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Alexandra, and essentially what I do, to kind of pare it down a little bit, is I help people who are experts at what they do become experts at who they are. And so what I really want to talk about today is I work with a lot of people who are building businesses or have businesses or do some kind of work on the internet, right? Whether it's real estate, whether it's coaching, whether it's leadership of any kind. A lot of us are on the internet. A lot of us are putting ourselves out there. And so one thing that I want to talk about today is the difference between being visible and being seen, and which one gets you exponential results, especially in your leadership. And if you're kind of building a following or making connections with people of any kind, how it can increase your impact, your income, and your intimacy, really. So that's what I want to dive into today. First, we're going to take a look at what the difference actually is between being visible and being seen. So I remember when I was getting started in doing any kind of work on the internet, one of the things that I heard the most was, you got to be visible. 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 Post 5 times a day. Be consistent. Put yourself on all the platforms. Do this, do that. And I've seen a lot of people do that, and especially coaches, but also people in the real estate field, also people in other fields as well, right? We are told to put everything we have as much as we can on the internet as often as possible, build a following. Cool. Mm-hmm. I noticed a lot of the people that I was working with were putting themselves out there over and over and over and over and over, posting 3 to 5 times a day, being consistent, but something wasn't landing. There was like a disconnect with their audience. There was a disconnect in their leadership. There was a disconnect in conversions. There was a disconnect in relationships. And what I found was that disconnect was that people were really good at being visible, plastering themselves everywhere, but they weren't necessarily connected to being seen. So being visible is often putting yourself out there, being consistent, showing up. Being seen takes it a layer deeper. Being seen really is where we intertwine ourselves into the thing that we're doing, where we bring ourselves to the thing that we're doing. What the hell does that mean? Well, that means deepening that connection. And that looks a lot of different ways. That can look like letting our opinions take the lead, right? Sharing our opinions, being a little bit polarizing. That can look like being a little bit vulnerable. Maybe not necessarily in the messy kind of way where it's like, save me, but sharing our stories, sharing our lessons. Some of the things that I connect to the most is when I see people say, you know, this was a really hard year, but this is what I learned and this is how I'm going to use it to make myself even better. Sharing our values, our beliefs, sharing who we are as a person. So how do we do that, right? Like it sounds really simple, but how do we do that? If we want to exponentially increase our leadership and thus our impact, our income, our intimacy, what we first want to do in order to be seen is to see ourselves. So a lot of the work that I do with women is to really help them lead themselves and master themselves, right? In order to be seen by our audiences, we have to see ourselves. We have to know what our patterns are. We have to know what our emotions feel like. We have to know why we do the things we do. We have to know what places we're operating from. Am I doing this to get more love? Am I doing this to prove myself? We have to be able to see ourselves if we want to give our audiences or the world any chance at seeing us, right? Otherwise, we're operating from like defense mechanisms, and we're operating from trying to save face and trying to keep up these masks and these appearances, right? Which is, you could do that being visible as well. The next thing that we want to do is first see ourselves, and second, start to incorporate that into what we do. Maybe that looks like, oh, I've been hiding my opinion. I've been hiding my beliefs. I haven't been living by my values. Maybe I want to start talking about that, right? And then the third aspect of allowing ourselves to be seen is seeing other people, right? So not necessarily seeing people as a number in your goal, but seeing somebody as a human being who has their own desires, their own needs, their own wants. And when we do that, we start to open up pathways to really connect to each other. So to kind of wrap it all up, I know I've got a limited amount of time, and if any of you know me, you know I could probably talk forever. Taryn and I just talked for an hour. We were probably going to be on the phone for 10 minutes was our idea. To kind of wrap it up, being visible is really about how much am I putting myself out there? Being seen is really about how am I putting myself out there? Where am I letting myself connect to myself, to my message and my mission, and then to other people? And using that to kind of synergistically allow more people to come into your space, be able to hold those people because you can hold yourself. And that, from what I've seen, from what I've experienced, really allows us to not only expand our leadership, but also increase our conversions, increase our income, increase the kind of relationships, building relationships where people rehire us, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and really kind of building a tribe and a legacy versus just a social media following. So I hope that's been helpful.
It's helpful.
I hope you can gain something from that. And as always, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. And if you don't, I think Taryn's going to post it.
I am going to post it. Well, as always, like your information, I just love listening to you. I can listen to you all day long, honestly.
Thank you.
I thank you so much for sharing that. So what can you offer our audience right now? And then, of course, where can they find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So where I mainly live is Facebook. You can just search my name. It's pretty unique, so I'm probably the only one.
Yeah.
Also Instagram at my name. And I would love to offer 2 one-on-one sessions, 30-minute one-on-one sessions to lucky caller number, whatever.
Yeah.
Viewers, yeah, reach out.
Awesome.
Let's have a conversation. And yeah, let's move you past kind of where you are and get you to where you want to be.
Yeah, awesome. All right, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the links to Alexandra's Facebook and her Instagram handle. And then, of course, the 2 lucky people who reach out to her first will get these 30-minute sessions. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do it because she truly is amazing and you're going to learn a lot. I mean, really a lot in that 30 minutes. So thank you so much for coming on. As always, it's a pleasure connecting with you, and Happy New Year 2020.
Likewise, Happy New Year. Yeah,
this is the first Strategy in 10 for 2020. So,
yeah, well. Starting off on a good foot.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that is all for today. Until next time, take care and have a great day. Bye.
Bye, guys.